Most people fit. Not perfectly, not always comfortably, but they fit. They find their place, they blend into the rhythm of the world around them, and the friction stays manageable. But there is a smaller group of people for whom that fitting never quite happens. Not because something is wrong with them, not because they didn't try hard enough or want it badly enough, but because the way their mind works, the way they feel, the way the world lands on them, it operates on a frequency that most people around them simply are not tuned to receive. And they have known this their entire lives, even when they had no words for it. If you have ever sat in a room full of people and felt quietly, inexplicably alone, not sad, just separate, this is going to feel very specific to you. Psychology has spent decades studying what makes certain individuals rare. Not rare in terms of talent or achievement or anything the world typically puts on a pedestal. Rare in terms of how they are fundamentally wired. The patterns are remarkably consistent. They show up across cultures, across ages, across completely different backgrounds and life experiences. And what makes these people rare is never one single trait. It is a specific combination, a particular way of thinking, feeling, and moving through the world that only a very small percentage of people actually share. Here are 7 of those signs. You think in layers, not in lines. Most people think linearly. Point A to point B, cause and effect. Step 1, then step 2. But certain minds don't work that way. One thought immediately contains several others underneath it. One question leads to 3 deeper questions before the first one is even answered. One conversation ends, and the internal analysis of it quietly continues running in the background for hours, finding things that weren't visible while it was happening. Cognitive researchers describe this as integrative complexity, the ability to hold multiple perspectives simultaneously and connect ideas across completely different domains. It is not something that can be taught easily. It is a fundamental feature of how certain minds are built from the beginning. And if you have always thought this way, you probably assumed for a long time that everyone did. They don't. You feel the emotional temperature of a room before anyone speaks. You walk in and you already know. The tension between 2 people who are pretending everything is fine. The forced cheerfulness that is sitting on top of something heavier. The shift in energy that happened right before you arrived and that everyone is quietly pretending didn't happen. This is not imagination. Neuroscience tells us that certain individuals have a significantly more active mirror neuron system, the network of brain cells responsible for reading and resonating with other people's emotional states. For rare types of humans, this system is extraordinarily sensitive. It picks up signals that most people never consciously register. It is an asset in ways that are hard to fully measure, and it is also quietly, persistently exhausting in ways that are even harder to explain to someone who doesn't experience it. You have a very low tolerance for anything that feels false, performative conversations. Relationships built entirely on surface pleasantries. Rooms where everyone is playing a role and nobody is saying what they actually mean. Environments where the real conversation is happening underneath the one out loud, and everyone has silently agreed to pretend otherwise. Rare types of humans don't just dislike these situations. They find them almost physically uncomfortable, not because they are difficult or antisocial, but because their nervous system is genuinely wired for authenticity in a way that makes inauthenticity register as friction rather than just preference. Research in personality psychology consistently shows that individuals with deep value systems experience falseness as a real
Maybe
source
someone
of
here
psychological
knows.
stress. They don't just prefer honesty. They need it in a way that most people around them simply don't understand and never
An empty
quite
chair
will.
in this busy
Pause here
place?
for just a second.
I'll just
Notice
sit
that
here.
none of these signs
Hi,
are about
everyone.
being better than the people around you. They are about being differently wired. That distinction matters more than most people realize. Because rare doesn't mean superior. It means specific. It means your particular configuration of traits is genuinely uncommon. And that comes with its own quiet set of experiences that the people closest to you may never fully share, no matter how much they care about you. You process experiences long after they have ended. A conversation from 3 days ago, a moment that most people forgot by the next morning. You are still turning it over, still finding new
This
layers
is all
in it,
your fault.
still
No,
arriving
you
at
started
something you
it.
didn't
Liar,
understand
you always
when it was
mess up.
actually
Stop
happening.
blaming me.
The experience is over, but the understanding of it is still being built. Psychologist Elaine Aron's research
Whoa,
on deep
so
processing
crowded.
found that
Okay,
this
stepping
kind of
back
extended
now.
reflection is not rumination.
That's better.
It is not anxiety dressed up as thinking. It is a genuine cognitive feature. The brain is extracting more meaning.
Why do I
more
feel
nuance,
this way?
More
You're
information
avoiding
from
the truth.
experiences than the
I
average
need to
mind
face
typically
it.
does.
Then do it.
It runs deeper and it runs longer.
It's so
And the
loud.
cost of it
I can't
is
take
that you
this
are often still
piss!
inside something that everyone else
Everyone's
has already moved on
gone.
from. You are drawn to meaning over
Guess
momentum,
it's just me
while
now.
most people stay focused on
Everyone's
moving forward.
gone.
The next goal, the next milestone,
Guess it's just
the
me
next
now.
achievement. Rare types of humans keep stopping to ask why. Why does this matter? What is the actual point of this direction? Is this genuinely
did I
meaningful,
say?
or is it just busy?
Was it
Is this
too
a life I
harsh?
chose, or one
Remembering
I
that
simply
look
drifted
last
into?
Tuesday.
This is not a lack of ambition. It is a completely different relationship with purpose. Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor who gave his life to understanding human motivation, wrote that the deepest human need is not pleasure or power or comfort. It is meaning. Rare types of humans feel that need more acutely than most. They cannot sustain effort towards something that feels empty, no matter how impressive it looks from the outside, no matter how much everyone around them insists
Truth
it
seems
should be
important,
enough. You have
but
always felt
purpose
like an
calls
observer,
to me.
even in
I'll
your own
start with
life.
purpose.
There is a
Wow,
particular
what an
experience
incredible
that rare types
view!
of humans describe
You can
with
see
remarkable
forever from up
consistency
here.
across completely different backgrounds and circumstances. A sense of watching their own life from a slight distance. Participating fully, but also simultaneously witnessing. Present in a moment, but also somehow
I'm not
outside
sure.
of it.
Trust
Noticing
me, it's
it.
a great idea.
Watching
But what if
themselves
it goes
be in
wrong?
It.
It won't. Let's
Psychologists
go.
call this a metacognitive
I'm not
orientation.
sure. Trust
The
me, it's
ability
a
to
great
think about
idea.
your own
But what if it
thinking,
goes wrong?
to
It
observe
won't.
your
Let's
own
go.
experience while it is still happening. It is a rare cognitive capacity that most people develop only partially. For certain individuals, it is simply always on. And it creates a relationship with life that is simultaneously richer and more complex than the people around them typically experience. You are in your life and watching your life at the same time. And that dual awareness never fully stops. You carry
I need to
questions
think
that
about
most
this.
people stopped asking
Okay,
long ago.
I have a plan.
Why are things
Time
the way
to
they are?
act.
What is actually real?
Why
What does
is
it
this
mean
so
to live well?
confusing?
What are we
I
actually
need to
doing
figure
here?
this out.
Questions that most people brush up against briefly
quite the commotion.
sometime in adolescence,
all falling
and then
apart!
quietly set
Fascinating.
aside as they get on with the practical business of daily life. Rare types of humans never fully set them down. The questions travel with them. They resurface in quiet moments, in the middle of completely ordinary days, at unexpected times when nothing in the environment called for them, not as anxiety, not as crisis, just as genuine,
What should I
persistent
do?
curiosity.
Maybe
about
someone
the
here
nature of
knows.
things that refuses to be satisfied with the standard answers. Research in intellectual humility and open-ended thinking consistently identifies
An empty
this
chair
trait
in this busy place?
individuals who
I'll
score
just
highest
sit here.
on measures of wisdom
Hi,
and
everyone.
psychological depth. The questions are not a sign of confusion or instability. They are a sign of a mind that simply refuses to stop looking. 7 signs, 7 patterns, all pointing toward the same quiet truth. Being a rare type of human is not about standing out. It is not about being celebrated or recognized or finally having the world catch up to you. It is about the specific texture of how you experience being alive, the depth, the sensitivity, the need for meaning that won't negotiate, the questions that never quite go away no matter how much life you pile on top of them. And perhaps the most important
This
thing
is
to
all your
understand,
fault.
the
No,
thing
you
that
started
changes
it.
something when
Liar, you
finally
always
hear
mess
it
up.
clearly
Stop blaming
is
me.
This. These traits were never problems to be fixed. They were never evidence that something went wrong
Whoa,
or that
so
you needed to be
crowded.
different than
Okay,
you were.
stepping back now.
They were always just the
that's
shape
better.
of a particular kind of mind. One that the world doesn't always know what to do with. One that doesn't always fit the containers.
Why
it
do
gets
I
handed,
feel this way?
But one that
You're avoiding the
understood
truth.
clearly and
I
finally
need to
on its
face
own
it.
terms,
Then do it.
is something genuinely worth doing.
It's so loud.
I can't take this piss!
Everyone's gone. Guess it's just me now.